Indianapolis employers are looking for the best candidates to fill their open positions. What makes one candidate stand apart from the next?
A candidate standing out in a positive way would include someone that has taken the time to prepare for the interview. I always appreciate this when a candidate will access the internet, our website, and comes to the interview with a knowledge base of the company. That's always a strong positive. Someone that has prepared for the interview, however, still presents themselves in a very genuine manner. Individuals can over-prepare for an interview, and in the over-preparation, they will take information that they've found through maybe sources on the internet or other coaching sources, and that becomes their answer. That's usually readily identifiable when someone has done that, and that doesn't always speak to or present them in a positive way.
An interviewee, for them to stand out, they have to be dressed appropriately. Unfortunately, a lot of what we see is someone just not taking the time with their appearance. They just kind of show up and sometimes I guess think that their personality is going to outweigh what they look like. But you also have to think about what you're interviewing for. So you got to dress appropriately based on the position. Some other things I would say is that personality, not being afraid to talk. I've had that on occasion, and also being professional. And again, it's probably something that you can't teach, but the shaking of the hand and introducing yourself and really concluding the interview in a professional manner, I think is really lacking in a lot of applicants.
One of the things that makes a candidate stand out to me is their attire. When they come in and they're dressed to impress, they look nice and they're pulled together. That's a big standout. The other thing is their ability to hold a conversation. I ask open-ended questions in my interview, and they should be able to share with me their experiences and their background without me having to pull the actual answers from them.
You can easily stand out and make a positive first impression by preparing ahead of time, practicing answering questions, and using good communication skills before, during, and after the interview.
One of my pet peeves when I interview is when someone comes not prepared, whether that is dress, whether that is able to communicate, whether that is not even knowing what they're interviewing for. I've had several people that would show up and would ask me questions about, what is this again? Is this a credit union? Is this a bank? To me, you should know the answer to that if you're interviewing. So it's all about preparedness.
One of my biggest pet peeves in an interview is that I take a lot of time to prepare for the interview as far as the questions and getting to know the candidate before I really get to know them, as far as doing my background research. Maybe it's a Facebook check, maybe it's a LinkedIn check, those types of things. So when they sit in front of me, I want them to be able to share equally and have prepared by being able to uphold a conversation. The other thing is I hate it when they're not honest or I feel like their answers are rehearsed. An interview is just as much an opportunity for them to find out what they like about the company. So they should be asking questions at the end, as well as being really honest with me. If I ask them what they plan on doing 5 years from now, I want to know honestly if they plan on doing what I'm hiring them for, or if maybe they have future goals. Either way is okay, but it's important in deciphering the right fit for the position.
Studies show that about 55% of our first impressions of a person are formed by their appearance. Employers expect you to dress for the interview, not the job itself, so take advantage of having this knowledge and dress to impress to ensure that you are making a positive first impression.
The type of dress attire that we expect for individuals that come to interview with our company depends upon the type of position that they're interviewing for. For individuals that are interviewing for a professional management position, we expect them to dress the role as being dressed as professional, shirt, tie, that type of thing. As far as administrative or clerical, we expect individuals that would come, again, dressed professionally in a business type attire. And for individuals that are applying for positions that are more production positions, we look for business professional attire, like khaki pants, a knit shirt with a collar on it, that type of thing.
There are many steps to the interview process, and you are being evaluated each step of the way. Employers generally start with a phone interview. Before answering your phone, be sure that you are ready to interview. Move to a quiet area without any distracting background noise. Be fully engaged in the conversation, focus on the questions being asked, and completely answer the interview questions. Use a clear and pleasant speaking style and smile. It will come through on the other end of the line. Research the company by looking at their website and learning everything you can about who they are, including what their products or services are, and who their customers are. Create a list of questions you want to ask the employer during the interview.
Our interview process entails reviewing information submitted by the candidates. Out of that information, we determine who would be the best qualified candidate for the role. I work very hard to develop questions that will help to give us an overall picture of the person that is applying. And then based on their answers, they go through a graduated interviewing process, a first interview, and then, if applicable, a second interview. And I try to present 2 to 3 qualified applicants to the team for selection. And then from those 2 to 3 applicants, we extend an offer.
Our interview process consists of screening and going through a large number of applications that we usually get when we have a position opened. What we do is look at the qualifications and work experience of individuals that submit both their application and resume to narrow it down. From there, we do a phone interview with the individual and ask basic questions to clarify what they've listed both on their resume and their application. And if they have the qualifications and appear to be a job match, then we will set up a time for them to come in and have an interview with our TMS manager, and then from there also an operations manager to determine if their experience, skill sets are a job match for our company.
Give yourself extra time. Plan to arrive 10 to 15 minutes before the interview. From the moment you arrive, demonstrate positive nonverbal language by being approachable, smile, and walk with confidence. Warmly introduce yourself with a firm handshake, good eye contact, and clearly say your name. Show your interest by keeping good eye contact, arms uncrossed, slightly lean forward, and nod to show the employer you are listening. Focus and be fully present by using good listening skills and answering as appropriate. Take notes to demonstrate your attention to detail and that you want to remember their important information.
The types of questions I like to ask in the interviewing process are questions that are geared toward getting to know the qualities of the applicant, the qualifications of the applicant. I do tend to focus on work history and understanding their history of work to date. The best predictor of future behavior is past behavior, and that's very key to our overall understanding of the applicant.
During our interview process, we ask a combination of different questions. First of all, we ask general questions of individuals to understand what their experience in the past has been, to get an insight as to what their likes and dislikes are of the previous jobs that they have. We also want to get to know a little bit about the person that's interviewing, so we will ask them some of their likes and dislikes and things that they do outside of the workplace, and then to determine how they are a match for our positions that we have available.
You can anticipate that the employer will begin the interview with requesting, "Tell me about yourself." This is a perfect opportunity for you to make a strong introduction of who you are and why you are a good fit for the position. Start with your career background as it relates to this opportunity. Include reasons for job changes and include experiences you have gained that prove you are a good fit for this job, and end with a strong statement of why this job is appealing to you. You will want to keep your response about 2 minutes. You can easily practice answering this ahead of time and work on a clear and easy to understand message that makes a positive impression.
Determining which candidate to hire out of two equally qualified candidates can be a very tough decision. Oftentimes it's determined by a discussion of the pros and cons of each candidate, and oftentimes if they present themselves equally, it comes down to the best culture fit for the company.
Someone that really can be set apart from other applicants is just their overall personality, how they carry themselves, if they're energetic, if they have humor, something that's going to make them stand out than someone else.
When I have two equally qualified candidates, this actually happened to us this week. We had two individuals that could have done the job very skillfully. They would have been excellent for it, but it came down to who was a better culture match for us. And I think that that's a really good way of deciding on a candidate, because we want someone that's comfortable here. And so it's not necessarily saying one is better than the other, but it's saying one will fit better than the other. And I think in the long run, we're finding the one that will be happier here also.
Listen carefully and answer questions completely. Demonstrate enthusiasm, interest, confidence, and good communication skills throughout the interview. Convey an attitude of, "This is what I can do for you," instead of, "What's in it for me?" Behavioral style questions require you provide a real example of your previous work performance. You can easily prepare to answer these questions by making a list of all the successes you have had at work. Then practice talking about your successes out loud, telling your stories clearly and concisely. You will then be prepared to answer any behavioral style questions by pulling from your bank of success stories. Asking your own questions demonstrates a true interest in the company, the position, and the interviewer, and it conveys that you are a selective job seeker, all very appealing. Plan to ask at least 5 good questions. Confidently tell the employer the reasons you are a good fit and why you are interested in the position and the organization. Express your desire to be considered further. Ask what the next steps are. Be sure to thank him or her for their time, shake his or her hand, and tell him or her that you look forward to the next step. Use your notes to compose a thank you letter or email reiterating why you are a good fit for the job and organization, and send it within 24 hours after the interview. Make a follow-up phone call if you have not heard from the employer as discussed. Your assertive and courteous follow-up will demonstrate your skills in this area and make you stand out in a positive way.
The type of follow-up that would be expected or appreciated as a result of the interviewing process could come in the form of an email or a handwritten note is even better, thanking us for the time that was spent. An interview is a two-way process, and we work very hard to determine the best qualified applicant in an effort not only to benefit our company, but to benefit that person. Our goal is to choose the best person for the role so that they will have the best opportunity that they can have to succeed in the role. And so mutual respect via thanking is something that is appreciated.
The type of follow-up that we expect or appreciate for a candidate that's interviewed for a job, there's several different methods that they can use. They can either send an email, which our interviewers will, during the time of an interview, will give them that contact information. They could make a phone call, wait at least 1 or 2 business days after their interview to do a follow-up to see if the person doing the interview needs any additional information, or they could send a personal thank you note through the mail to the interviewers that conducted the interview.
After after a candidate has interviewed with me, I really expect a thank you note or thank you email. I've received it in lots of different ways. Some of them still write on a card and send it to me in the mail. Some send me email. Some will even call me and leave a voicemail and tell me that they appreciated the interview. But regardless, that needs to be done. If not, here, actually, it's our policy. We won't hire the individual if they don't follow up with a thank you. It just shows a lack of care or regard for that time spent out of our workday with that individual to give them an opportunity.
You are now equipped with everything you need to have a successful interview. If you would like to practice your interviewing skills with your peers and receive constructive feedback, participate in one of the scheduled WorkOne interview practice sessions. For additional job search-related information, please view other WorkOne Customer Solutions videos to receive the most current and relevant information for real people like you.